This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Well, welcome everyone. Those of you that are here, if you're watching this for the first time, we're doing this for the first time. This is a this is a podcast that we're going to do, a live outdoor podcast. This is different than I think anything I've ever done, right? What about you guys?
Absolutely.
For sure.
First time.
Yep.
So what we want to do, I think the object of this is we want to just, as if we're out to eat somewhere, and we're going to talk about the outdoors. We're going to talk about what we like to do, what we don't like to do, what went wrong, what went right, I guess, right? So let's go through introductions here. Let's start with this guy over here, the bearded man. No, he's not from Duck Dynasty, but he might be close. Mr. Jake Oxenford. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. Hey, not much. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. Kind of getting my feet wet with this whole podcast stuff. So
Cool.
Let's join this journey together.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. We also have with us, my wife decided to join us.
Hey.
She's been hunting and fishing and loving every day. Can I say that? Or am I going to get docked for that? Can I say that? Or is Luke Bryan going to come after me?
I don't say that might be a copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We also got with us Braden Pennington from his man cave with all the... See, now I feel bad because you got all the stuff that you killed back there, man.
That's right. How's it going, guys?
I'm looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this all day because this is something I've wanted to launch. Well, I've talked with you guys about it. I've wanted to launch this for a couple of years now, right? It's just that nothing ever worked out for us to be able to do this. Nothing did. It's just like we wanted to do it, and then this guy decided he was going to have a kid, and then this guy decided he was going to have a kid.
That's right.
And then we decided we were going to move, and so here we
Bunch of
are.
life.
Oh, and then COVID. We can't forget COVID. Are we allowed to say that?
When COVID happened, that was the big thing.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was going to say, are we allowed to say that? Yeah, then COVID happened. And so we thought this was a perfect time to launch it. You know what? There's a perfect time for everything. And I see Jim Meglick's in the chat room. Hey, welcome. Guys, if you're in the chat and you're commenting, we will bring up your comments. And Adam Calb, we won't forget you either. So you're going to bear with us. This is our first episode that we're doing here. And I kind of want to talk to everybody about their season. I want to hear the dirt. Because were you successful? Were you not successful? It's okay. Just we'll try not to cry too loud for you. Let's start with you, Braden. What's the season been like for you this past season?
Yeah, so I really didn't get to hunt Pennsylvania much. Having a 1-year-old kid keep me busy, obviously. But after work slowed down and we closed up for the season, me and 3 buddies, we headed out to Montana for a couple weeks in hopes of killing some elk, killing some mule deer, white-tailed deer. And we hunted hard for a week and a half, I'd say. Really didn't see much activity elk-wise. Couple cows, no bulls that we wanted to chase after. So we headed to some new terrain, basically mule deer country, and we got in there one day in the middle of the mountains and saw a group of mule deer. They were, 2,000 yards away. Glassed them for a little bit, and this bucky wasn't anything big. He's just a 2-point, but it was my first time drawing a mule deer tag out there. So I was like, you know what? I've hunted for a week and a half hard. We put some miles on. We hiked the mountains, and nothing was playing out right. So I was like, you know what? If I can put the stock on it, I'm going for it. Mm-hmm. So there I went. I packed my stuff up, got within, I'd say like 460 yards. And I was like, well, I hiked this far. it's now or never. So I found a good rest and squeezed the trigger and laid them down. So ultimately, I didn't end up killing a white-tailed deer in Pennsylvania, my home state, but at the same time, I knocked one thing off the bucket list. I got my first mule deer, so overall, it was a good year.
What about you, Jake? And you should have sent me a picture of that. We could have showed that to the folks here. I guess we'll know for next time. So
That's right.
Any luck?
Yeah, so nah, I've been out a few times for archery season. I have a Tacticam reveal, and I would be getting updates when deer would be passing my stand when I'm not there, so that's always a good thing. But there was one evening I got a picture of this big, I think it was all 6. I was seeing him on camera pretty much at night, but couldn't get out to hunt him. Around 8 o'clock, 8:30, got a knock on my door from one of the neighbors. Hey, I shot a deer on the neighbor's property. They walked through yours. Can I go find him? I was like, sure. Let me grab my boots. I'll go with you. So the funny thing is I have a picture of the deer he shot walking on camera 5 minutes after he shot it.
I don't think he got it. I don't think he got it.
Yeah.
Nope.
And then I went back and I pulled the camera the next day because we walked probably, 100 yards in the woods. And I heard crashing and stuff. I'm like, we need to back out. Like, if we push this deer, we're never going to find him. It's on a 25-acre property. This deer couldn't go anywhere. So the next day, they came back over and they were searching the property. And it's their first time on it. So I went out and helped them. And I grabbed my laptop and downloaded the HD photos so I could see kind of where exactly he hit them. And I look, and pretty much it was like top lung. But I mean, there was so much blood going on. I'm like, oh, we're going to find this deer. And top lung, and we searched for 2 hours or so, and we didn't find him. I mean, there was five of us and a dog, and we weren't finding him. So I was like, it was one of the nicer ones that got taken out early. But I had a few does come in, but my main hunting spot, I try to not shoot does just because population control and trying to make sure that they could reproduce, because around our area there's a lot of hunting pressure. So trying to keep the fawn population up for the following year and letting the bucks breed, and hopefully they come out during the rut so I can shoot them then. But yeah, so nothing for me this year. I've been on a lot of drives and pushed deer to other people, but didn't get to pull the trigger of my own.
So we've been working on, since we moved here in 2018, we've actually, I've been out there building a food plot, put a stand 15. See, we're in Ohio, so we can have
Seasons.
we can have the food plot.
yeah.
We can have the corn feeder out there. So I usually hunt in PA at my mother-in-law's, which is like 50-some acres. And usually my brother-in-law and I, we're the only ones that usually hunt that. She'll come over sometimes. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll build this deer oasis for her so she can go out and get up in this. She don't like heights.
No.
Get up in this 15-foot
I hate
tree
heights.
stand, right? So she's got the corn feeder. She's got a bunch of blocks that I put on the ground, okay? And she has a 15-yard shot, if that, at a deer when it comes out.
So I was so excited. I'm like, yes, I'm going to get my first deer on our property. Oh, yeah. And I go out there and nothing.
Nothing. Didn't see nothing. So I went into a blind. My neighbor, he used to hunt, so he gave me this really nice blind. And so I set that up, and I was I'd say about 12 yards. And I'll admit, I didn't put a lot of time in this year with archery like I normally do. I should have, and this year is going to be different. So I got the old trusty crossbow out, and I went into the blind. It was right after it rained. I think I was in the blind for 20 minutes, and that was after, if you remember, that was after Daniel. I took my son out. I'll have to pull up a picture. He fell asleep, no lie. He fell asleep, and I'm like, any minute now, there's going to be deer that walked out. 2 doe walked out.
While
They
he's
were
sleeping.
while he's sleeping, and they're like 10 yards from him. Dude, they were like 10 yards from him. And so I'm like tapping him in the leg. I'm like, get on the crossbow. And he's like, wait, what? Like the elevator didn't reach the
He's
top.
half-outed.
Yeah. So
Still asleep.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So he wakes up. He's like, Dad, there's deer out there. I'm like, yeah, shoot them. So he got down, and he must have sat on that crossbow looking at them deer for probably about 5 minutes. At least it felt like it was 5 minutes. And I'm like, "Are you on him?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you gonna shoot him?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I'm waiting." And then they stomped and took off, and I was just like, that was opening day.
Mm-hmm.
This day when I went out, I was out there for like 20 minutes. I was watching, like I said, it was right after the rain. I sat down right before dusk. One came out, hit it quartering away. It was a doe because that was the only thing I saw within daylight. I don't think she went 30 yards and piled up,
Mm-hmm.
and we brought her back. So that was what I got this year. I didn't get no horns this year, but it was still an interesting year. It just felt really warm. I don't know if you guys had that. I know Braden, you went out west, but it just didn't it feel warm? Like it just seemed overly warm.
Yeah, it was definitely not the coolest time to go out. I mean, I like it when it's not like snow on the ground, unless it's shotgun season. But I mean,
Yeah.
I want a nice, cool, crisp morning in fall, and it just wasn't that this year.
Yeah, so we're hoping this year. I know my brother-in-law, he wants to come down. We're going to do some work over at my mother-in-law's and get back to going. My father-in-law, he was the one that used to do a lot of that, get things ready. I just didn't. I've been spoiled. I'll be honest. Over at my mother-in-law's, I have one camera that is a cell camera, and all the rest of them are like you pull the SIM card. And I've been spoiled. I don't even think I checked the card all year on those because I've just been following the ones on the cell. I'm lazy when it was that, man. I feel, you guys get like that?
Oh, I'm getting that way now. I basically run nothing but cell cameras now just because, well, one, I don't have the time to go into the woods, and two, my thought is I'm like, if I can keep track of what's coming through and me not having to blunder in there day in and day out, it keeps the scent out, keeps the deer calm. So hopefully it keeps them in the area a little longer until I can get into that area to hunt.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, she hasn't really done a lot of that. Erin just kind of, she'll help me carry bags of corn down.
Yeah. Pull weeds, help, with the stumps and stuff when we were at first putting the food plot down and all that stuff. But
yeah, when we were cutting out the, what was it? There were stumps in the back area. Well, we had to cut down that big area.
Yeah.
There's that big area back there that I added additional food plot into it. But it worked. It's been working.
Mm-hmm.
I think I posted on Instagram. Did you guys see it the other day where it was like 6 or 8 doe out there, and I'm like, really? A week after our season closes, really?
Mocking us.
They knew it.
Oh yeah,
they always do. Yeah, they always do. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna shift some gears and talk some more. You guys are more than welcome to interact with us here and check out some of the sponsors that we have. And we'll be right back right after this.
Apex Gear, known for their performance-driven archery sights and accessories, is pleased to introduce the new Covert Series archery sight. VersaPin technology allows shooters to change the pin color and pin size on demand in an instant. The compact and lightweight sight is equipped with stainless steel hardware, micro-adjustable windage and elevation, an ultra-smooth, easy one-hand adjustment knob for quick yardage changes, and a micro-push button light. The new Covert Series from Apex Gear.
Yeah, again, we want to thank Apex Gear. I mean, we use their sites exclusively here. All 4 of us, we use their sites, and I'm going to try to do this without knocking other. And I did. I knocked other things over, but I'll get it in the next break. But one of their big things right now is the magnitude, and I still have to open this up. We're going to do a video on this. I like Braden. I think you and we used a single pin, the Covert Pro.
Yeah,
right?
I run the Covert Pro double dot.
Yeah, that's what I run too,
Yep.
and I love it. But my wife, she's running a the Covert Pro 4-pin.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to probably stick this on hers and then do a review on it. But it's really cool because from what I can see right now, this part lights, like it glows really good. Like I walked downstairs and the ring was glowing. So whatever technology they're using now, I hope they bring it to some of the other ones because it looks like it lights up.
Yeah,
awesome.
It looks like it has really good illumination to it.
So we will keep you guys apprised of that. So make sure if you haven't, go over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoBoundariesOutdoors, and subscribe, because the guys and myself will be doing some video reviews. And I know coming up, Braden, in the next couple weeks, and different things, ways of hunting and fishing. You're a big saddle hunter.
Oh yeah.
So Braden got me on the saddle too. I haven't tried it yet, but he swears up and down I'm going to love it. Any of you guys in the chat room, have you saddle hunted or thought about it? This guy is the guy to listen to in the next couple of weeks, because he's going to talk about it with Trophy Line, right?
Yep. Hopefully we can get Sean from Trophy Line on sometime, and we can just talk saddles, talk platforms, talk sticks, talk saddles, talk basically how to set up and what advantages and disadvantages you got. But basically, I've been saddle hunting for the last 2-3 years now, and I haven't really found a disadvantage to saddle hunting. I mean, since I've changed over, I haven't thought about hunting out of my climber, my ladder stand, my lock-ons.
Yeah. So we got a comment in the chat room from Jim Meglick. He says, I don't know, can you read it?
Oh gosh, wait, hold on.
If not, I can read it. It says, because I'm used to it, I'll have to blow it up for you next time. I know, you're getting old. I get it. I do. Deer know how to read calendars, he says. When the season ends, they come from everywhere and show their face on our cameras.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
Jim,
is the truth.
Is the truth.
Yep, Jim's exactly right.
So we want to get into this. So this first episode is kind of like us, you guys getting to know us, and kind of us talking about some of the things that we love. And I know turkey season's coming up, and I'll be honest, I've only turkey hunted once. It just never appealed to me. But this year, okay, so let me explain myself here before you all crucify me here. The reason is I can't do the mouth calls. I've tried. I can only get a few things out. My buddy's like, oh, it takes some time. It's not something, happen overnight. But I'm pretty good with the striker call. But I want to bow hunt a turkey. I don't want to use a shotgun because I'm more accurate with a bow. I'm probably not now, but yeah. So I really want to get a turkey with a bow if I'm going to get one. Am I wrong in that?
No.
I mean, that's my goal. I still haven't shot one with a bow yet, so.
All right, so I don't feel so bad then. But I guess because turkey season happens right around fishing, and I know you and we take the kids out, we go fishing,
and it's fun.
We go out in the boat. You guys obviously fish. Plans to go turkey hunting? Are you going turkey hunting, Jake?
Yep. Yeah, turkey season's right on the corner. I'm actually looking to get a 410 to take out with the new TSS loads they got out. And I want to do the 410 and see if I can put one down.
You just want a cannon is what you want. You just want a cannon.
Yeah, I mean, with the newer loads now, I feel like the 410 should be able to put things down. I mean, I watched YouTube videos up to like 40 yards, and the patterns are like on that. So, I mean, you can't get much tighter. So,
yeah, you see a bunch of people hunting with 410s now. I mean, they really came a long way.
They really have. Yeah, it's impressive. So that's my goal, is to hopefully pick a 410 up coming up and go to the range and see what it can do.
Yeah, I'm still debating. I might go out. I might go bow hunt. I showed you guys a picture. What's going on, Brad? I see you in the chat room.
What's
there.
up, Brad?
I'm thinking about I might go out. I showed you guys a picture. What, it was a couple days ago, where there was like a ton of turkeys out there, but it's weird.
Yep.
It's weird. I never see where they're going to roost. Like, that's the first I've seen them probably in about 5 or 6 months. Like, I haven't seen them on camera.
You got any pine trees or anything near you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that's probably where they'll be then. They love roosting in pine trees. So, you got pines, like, especially if you want to roost them, just go toward the pines and make some calls, and you'll probably hear them call them back.
Scott Miller, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. But if worst comes to worst, you all can't you can't get a turkey. Just come over here and we'll go turkey hunting. I counted 15 the one day when they were out there, and I didn't get them all on the camera. But there was about 15, and then I think it was during season, or was it before season? We had all those deer in our backyard.
Yep.
The fawns were running around and playing.
Cute.
It was like July.
Over a fire pit.
I have video and pictures, so
it's about 8 or 9 of them.
We'll show this in a future episode. But there was probably would you say there was probably like between 15 and 20 deer out there?
About that. I mean,
couldn't
it was a
believe
lot.
it. And then hunting season comes and they
Nothing.
just vanish. They go
Went
away.
away.
It's kind of like the turkeys.
Yep.
So, what about fishing? Are you guys going? I did get my trout stamp for the first time, probably in 3 years this year.
Yeah, I mean, I do some fishing, but it's mostly kind of just like I got some time to kill, I'll go out, but I'm not like an everyday go out fishing. My one buddy, he's big into fly fishing, and he's out all the time. Like, hey, bud, let's hang out. Nah, I'm in the water right now. It's like, it must be nice. So,
Dude,
Yep.
I bought a
I
bought
can't
a
get
boat.
I can't get into fly fishing.
No,
I know you have a boat. So
I have a boat.
you
So
We're
you
using
have an
the boat.
excuse to go out.
I do have an excuse, and we go out catfishing. Well, we'll go for whatever, but a lot of times we go channel cat. But I like trout, and I know Braden, you like to go trout fishing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love trout fishing. If I have some free time, you'll find me on the stream this time of year.
The good thing is they finally gave everybody in PA, because I fish PA because Ohio doesn't really get trout season. I don't exactly know why they don't stock it in Ohio, but they don't. I got so I'm paying even extra. I'm paying out of state license.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Yeah. But they're starting this year, April 2nd. It's statewide. It's not where we usually out here in Western PA, because I'm right on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. It's usually 2 weeks after Eastern PA. Like Jake, your area will start.
Open up first, yeah.
Yeah, this year they're doing it across, and I kind of like that.
Well, didn't they do that last year too? Kind of a surprise state opener, or like a state
Yeah.
opener.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, it came in
Hey,
on like
look,
a
we're open.
Thursday. Yeah,
It came in on
like
yes.
a Thursday.
because
Everybody
everybody was mad.
texted me that day, and he's like, "Hey, you coming fishing?" I'm like, "It doesn't open for like another week." He's like, "No, I got an email that opened up. Get on down here." I'm like, "All right, well, let me get off work and get my stuff gathered up."
I remember my brother was out here. You remember Bob was out here?
I know.
And he goes, oh, I guess we can go fishing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's Thursday. He's like, well, Governor Wolf just decided that he was going to allow you to go fishing today. I'm like,
Yeah.
So random.
I don't have no poles strung up or anything, and
Right.
like I needed new line.
No, I was the
Like,
same way.
jeez.
I was running around trying to gather everything up, just because I was like, well, I don't want to miss the first day.
Right.
But I'm like, well, I got a couple hours. Let me grab my stuff, and I'll go down to the stream and line my pole up real quick and rig a lure up so I can fish for the last hour or so.
It almost seems like, and I could be wrong, but it seems like, like Jake, you were saying you don't fish a lot unless you got time. You're probably not near a place to fish, right? I mean, you'd have to probably drive a little distance.
I mean, there's a lake near ours. Struble Lake is right around the corner. And there's actually our sportsman's club stocks a few trout ponds and streams. So I mean, there's spots to go, but a lot of them, everyone knows they're stocked. So I mean, you're there. You show up, and it's kind of like state game lands on opening day of Shotgun. You pull in, there's
Yep.
15 cars there, and you just turn around and you go right home. It's like, nope, not even worth it.
So Braden, what he's saying is, slacker.
Yep.
Yep.
Slacker. There's no excuse that you can't go out there fishing. Come on, man.
Yep.
Unless you don't need them. If you don't need them, or even just throw them back. I know.
Yeah, no.
Giving them some.
Trout's good. You just got to pick those bones.
Yeah.
You got a kid now, man. You got to take her out fishing. Come on.
I know. Yeah, she'll get into it. I mean, she's a little young now. I think she'd rather play.
She's got to get.
jumping in
She's
the
got to
water
get
and
you
swimming
into
with
it.
fishes than-
She got to get you into it.
We got to show those videos of Daniel and Samantha first catching their fish. It's
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we took him out. I remember taking Daniel out. And have you taken your son out yet, Braden?
I have, well, at the campground that my wife's family owns, we have a pond and that, so I take him bass fish with me here and there. But I mean, he loves it. I mean, just like every other dad out there that has a little boy or a
Yeah.
girl. Last Easter, I'm like, I got to get him a fishing pole. It's right around fishing season. The wife's like, he doesn't even know how to hold it. I'm like, I don't care. I got to get him one.
Yeah.
He has one, but
yeah.
He really enjoys being outdoors. I mean, I bring him up into my man cave, and he points out the bear, and he comes and pets it, and points out the deer. He grabs my shed antlers I have laying around and runs around with them. So, like, if I'm watching a hunting show on TV, he points up and says, "Deer." So hopefully he's hooked already, but you never know.
Well, I remember, Aaron, you remember that day when I forget, you had Samantha and Daniel somewhere, and I went up to the lake. It's a little lake, Lake Julia. It's almost like 2 mile round. They stock it with trout, and I was up there, and I'm sitting there hammering trout. Like, I had been there 20 minutes, and I was almost limited out. And she messages me, and she goes, "Hey, the kids wanted to know if they could come up fishing," and I didn't see it because I was pulling in fish. So I had messaged her back. I'm like, "You need to get the kids up here ASAP. Like, by the time you get here, I'm going to be limited out. So, like, I have the spot." Not saying there's anything with the spot, but I was like,
right,
get them here because I guarantee you they're going to catch some fish, right? So I put them all in a bucket when they got there. And Daniel's, I think he was 3 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there and he's going, I said, "How many fish did you catch?" He goes, "1." I said, "How many did I catch?" He goes, "None." And every time he'd catch one, he'd be like, I said, "How many did I get?" He says,
"None."
"You got none." He goes like that. So it is funny to see, like.
Or when he caught that palomino that one time.
Oh, that
almost as big as him.
I know. I'll have to pull some of these pictures up so you guys can see them on a future episode. But we're going to take a short break here and come back. If there's something you guys want to see, if there's a company that you want us to talk to, I know in the past we've talked to Dan Drake of Scent Crusher and a few other people. We're going to look to get some of those guys on, and you can find out and you can even see some of those interviews if you go to NoBoundariesOutdoors.com. And we're going to show you a little bit of a broadhead that we like to use. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
Confidence is key, and when bow hunting, confidence can be defined by one word: accuracy. Introducing the Thorn Expandable Broadhead. Its patented hidden blade technology guarantees field point accuracy, and the patented rip tip grabs at hide and flesh, ensuring deployment and beginning the process of devastation. Its stainless steel blades render up to a massive 2.2-inch cut. For confidence and accuracy, there is only one choice: Thorn Broadheads, the world's most accurate broadhead.
All right, so we big shout out to Thorn Archery, Thorn Broadheads. We have used them for years, and we've killed
pretty much ever since they came out, right?
Yeah, because they were at ATA that year.
ATA, that's when you went and you guys discovered them there.
We were passing them in the hallway. Yeah, Andy and the guys, great broadhead. How many animals have you killed with one broadhead? Have you tried? Have you tried more than one? Either of you guys?
I've shot a bear and a buck with one broadhead.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought
that bear probably.
I
would have thought that bear would have been it by then.
Heck yeah.
No, I mean it put a big hole in him though. I mean it was a massive hole. That was really the first thing I shot with the Thorn Broadhead, and whenever I walked up to it, whenever I skinned it, I was just blown away by how big of a hole it put in it. I mean, and then I've shot some does, some bucks with them, and they all do the same amount of damage. And I'm like, if you put a half decent shot on an animal, you're gonna find it with these broadheads. I mean, to me, they're incredible.
That's what I shot the doe with, but it was a crossbow head this year. But here you guys can see they have, like, if you're a fixed blade shooter, like what we shoot are the mechanicals, but they have the Thorn Crown that you can get in 125 or 100 grain, and then they have your crossbow heads and even some of the OG, as I call them, the old school, the original orange, and I still use those. I still have a few of them left.
That's what I have.
I still use them. You can get parts and stuff, but the ones I want to check out now are the new ones, the Thorn X5s. I guess that's how I was saying it, or is it 15? Because that's the Roman numeral 15, right? This one's a little different, and that's what I want to talk about this a little bit. you notice that they have the blades sticking out, kind of like the crown, almost like he's using that as the activator for that shear pin instead of the ferrule.
Yep.
What do you think of that, Braden?
I mean, I guess in theory it's a good thing because, like the old tip, it had the puncture to ignite the blades to pop open, whereas if you see in the picture here, it's just like a field tip end, and then like the whatever you want to call them, like the shears on each side to open the head. I mean, I guess once it hits skin, it's gonna deploy.
Yeah.
Whereas the older style, not that I've ever had one not open up for me, but I guess there was more room for error with something like that. More mechanics, so in theory, there's more room for error.
Now, have either of you guys had any of them fail to deploy? Because I've actually had, not with the Thorn, but I've had other broadheads fail to deploy. In fact, in the intro, the deer that's getting shot, I shot it with another head, and we'll save that for another episode, that completely failed on me. And I hit it in the pump station, man.
I mean, Thorns are the first mechanical ones that I use. I normally used before, so I haven't had that issue. So Thorn was my first mechanicals, and I haven't had any issues with them. So
now, if you're my wife, right, and we go hunting, and yeah, I'm going to tell this story because I think it's going to be entertaining.
Oh, okay. So which story is this?
So this was the story when you and I went at your mom's house and we were hunting, and we're sitting up in the 2-man stand, and I said to you, I'm going to bring my bow and I'm going to film you, and I said, if you don't shoot one or if there's something that's uncomfortable, I'm going to shoot it, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear some rustling behind us, and I look over my shoulder and I'm like, stand up, there's a deer behind us.
Okay, and I was so excited and nervous at the same time. I didn't want to blow it, so I very slowly stand up. I should not.
Wait, no. You said to me, you said, should I stand up now?
Oh, yeah, that too.
And
I
I'm like,
know.
yes, now. like no, not next week, now.
Yeah, no. In hindsight, I probably should have stood up faster.
So she's standing up, and then there was actually 2 deer back there.
I didn't know that.
And there was a doe.
I only saw the one.
So now she's got their attention.
Yeah.
Okay, they're just kind of looking. They don't know what they see yet. They're just looking. So she has her hand on her bow. I'm like, pull it back and shoot them. And she's like, should I do it now? And I'm like, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. Like we had that, like the doe was like looking in our direction, but she'd still put her head down and eat. You know what I'm talking about? Like that.
Right.
That whole,
yeah. Like,
so this one,
alert.
so this one here is just kind of like frozen, with her hand on the bow,
Okay.
and the other hand on the release.
Ew. I'm not proud of that.
And I'm like, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And I kept saying, and then it started to like, she got the bow, she clipped the release on, she was about to pull back, and then it started to do the hoof stomp.
Bob and
blew,
weave.
bob and weave, and I'm like, shoot it. And then it ran off, and then I'm like, why did you shoot it?
Well, okay.
And she's like, because it was looking at me. I'm like,
she was, yeah.
shoot it. And here's the sickening part. It was probably about 10 to 15 yards away.
10 to 15 yards. It's
Yes,
farther away than that.
No, it was 10 to 15. It was like literally right at the bottom of the
It was
stand.
farther away. Yes.
I probably have some video footage of it too.
Probably.
So that was it. That was the only shot she's had yet.
Ever.
Ever.
I mean, ever.
At a deer.
Ever.
Like, gee,
Ever.
thanks.
Ever at a deer. So
Oh,
note to
so there
selves,
it
if you
is.
take your wives out, make sure you have like a tunnel to their ear that you sit there and say, shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife already said that she was like, I can't go out in the cold. Like, that's not going to happen. I said, okay, well then, we'll go during
Go
archery
archery.
season.
Yeah.
And I was like, but this will be her. I'll be at full draw on the biggest buck of my life, and she'll look at me and look at the deer and go, deer, run! Run! Go! Like, she's screaming at the deer because she won't want me to shoot it.
Aw.
She is. But I'm just like, I can't trust you. I can't trust you to take you out and not blow it. So, plus her patience, I think, is worse than a kid's. She'll sit there and, okay, is it ready to go? Are we done? Can we go home now? We've been here 10 minutes. I want to go. Okay.
Oh my. Is your wife like that, Braden?
Oh no, we go out first couple of days of rifle season. We put in all day sets. I mean, she might carry a whole backpack full of snacks, but we're there all day from daylight to dark. So
I
I'll
wouldn't
give her credit
complain.
on that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't complain. Snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong there.
Can't go
Oh,
wrong with
yeah.
snacks.
Gotta have
Yeah,
snacks.
we're constantly snacking.
Well, I mean, that's the big thing. Like, I did a lot of fishing when I was a kid. We didn't really do hunting where I was at because there wasn't really anybody that knew how to hunt, and I was kind of learning as I went. And when I got married to her dad obviously hunted. Her family hunts, and so my buddy wanted me to get into archery to go shoot just for fun, and I had already bought a crossbow because I'm like, well, if I can use a scope, I can kill a deer. And I think meat was getting expensive at the time.
Very. Still is.
Yeah, and I said, well, I'm just going to go out and start killing some deer. And she wanted to come out then after I got a bow because she thought it was fun, and then my kids wanted to. So it was fortunate in that aspect.
Right.
But she's the same way, though. She doesn't like to be cold out there. I don't like to be cold.
No.
That's why I try to get my deer in archery, right?
Mhm.
You don't like it?
No.
She needs that buddy heater that Daniel had.
Yes.
So you can,
Well, everything
pass
gets
that.
stiff, and then it gets hard to pull the bow back, and then which makes it worse.
I'm gonna not we're not sponsored by Buddy Heater or anything like that, but I need to find this picture of Daniel. Did you guys see that? Did I show you guys that picture
I'm not sure.
from this? You gotta see.
I
You
don't
gotta
know.
see this. This is a riot. When he fell asleep.
Is
Just
he, like,
get-
hugging the
Just get listen. Just get ready for it when you. I'm telling you this because when you take your kids,
It's an experience for sure. You know, they're
like I thought the biggest problem I was gonna have is keeping him from being noisy. Oh no, that wasn't the problem. It was keeping him awake.
you're out in nature. It's relaxing.
Man,
I mean, you hear the birds.
like when I got that Buddy Heater on, he's like, "Dad, can I take my coat off?" I'm like, "No, it's freezing out, man."
Yeah.
And, so okay, here. So let me pull this up here so you guys can see this. This is my son. This is him sleeping in the blind.
He's imagining deer, envisioning.
Okay,
them
so
in
here's
his
another
head.
shot. There, he really lost it. There, he was out.
He's out.
He's
out.
he
He's
gone.
The count.
He gone.
Living his best life.
Yes.
I mean, he had it, and literally, you can't see it on that picture, but the deer, I'm telling you, they were probably maybe 10 yards, maybe 7. They came down the path, and I'm sitting there the whole time in my head going, deer are going to come out, because I was just sitting there with him. I was going to film it if he shot one, because he's actually
Right.
pretty good with the crossbow.
hmm
He can kill up to 40 yards with the crossbow, and he'll hit a dead-on bullseye.
He got his first groundhog with that.
Nice.
He smoked the groundhog, and so I'm like, well, if you can kill a groundhog, you're gonna smoke a deer. So
Oh yeah.
he was totally. Now my daughter, she wanted to shoot bow, and then she turned into a teenager and
Yeah.
totally lost
Though
interest.
she was pretty good with what rifle did we have her using?
Oh, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was hitting 60, 70 yards
really
with
good
that. I seen you were shed hunting this week, Braden. What did you get all those in like one day, or was that a week? Or?
Actually, that was my brother that found all those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's still a
This
lot
is how
there.
many I caught so far. But he I think he found 8 or 9 in one little spot that one day, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Next day he went out, found like 5 or 6 more. So he
I
has better shed spots than I have, apparently.
I've never found a shed, not
or
like
better
that.
eyes than me.
I've never. Have you with your dad? Did you ever find a shed?
My dad did. I never did. But he's out in the woods on his property more than I was. So he's always. Well, you saw how many he
Yeah.
got.
What about Jake? Did you ever go out shed hunting?
Yeah, I went out. Oddly enough, last year it snowed here, and it thawed out, and then the next day I was kicking all the stones back from my driveway back onto it from the grass, and I look over next to my driveway and I see something. What is that? I walk up and it's a shed. I was like, oh, cool. I didn't have to do anything. Literally, it's on my driveway. And then about a week later, I was walking in the woods, kind of checking trail cameras and stuff. And I never walked this way. And I walked over, and I'm just like walking around. And I looked down, and I went, oh, there's another one. So I picked it up. It was actually the matching set, which was, I thought, pretty cool. And I was like, my first
That's
sheds I
wild.
find,
That's
it's the
cool.
matching set. So
Yeah.
I had them out on the TV stand now. So
So I pulled up the picture there that Braden's brother.
that's crazy.
Oh wow.
That let me get rid of the lower third.
Those are some nice sized sheds.
Yeah, he's had a couple good walks so far.
Where's the deer that they go to?
Right.
So that top shed that you see there, that buck, he's had him on camera for a couple years now, and it's probably pushing 150,
Yeah, he-
155 inches this year.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's big, man. There's a
But some
couple
of
of
those
them.
little ones, how do you find them?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how he finds those.
I need to go out back and walk through the property because
Mhm.
I haven't done that. I've never got a shed. My father-in-law did. He gave me all his sheds that he found, and they're up there in our living room as decor, and that's what I would use it for. She likes it. She likes having the deer antlers around the TV or around
Yeah.
shelving, and not trying to make you guys jealous because if your wives don't let you do that, but I'm just
It's
saying.
not overwhelming. It's like just gives it a rustic look.
Yeah.
That's why I have the room I have, because I wasn't allowed to put all my animals throughout the house. So we
Yeah, I'm getting in
compromised, and
trouble
I got
fine.
a man cave.
Yeah.
There you go.
One of the things that I know I've been learning and struggling with, and I want to get into this in the next segment, so guys, you can think about it if you're watching this, and even you guys on the panel here, is making food plots, and that's something that I want to talk about coming up. I know my brother-in-law, he's just started hunting a couple of years ago, and he's taught me a lot because he's done a lot of research on it. My wife's uncle, who's a farmer, who also he has kind of helped with that as well. So we're going to take a quick break here and then come back and talk about a little bit here before we got to wrap up. We're going to talk about food plots. All right, we're back here with more of the final segment here of No Boundaries Outdoors, and like I said, we're gonna be continuing to do this. We're gonna try to do this weekly. Obviously, when we get into some seasons here, especially hunting season, I know we only get 6 or 8 weeks to do that, so we might take that time off and get some footage, so that way we have it for when we come back. But we're gonna try to do this on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Guys, I was talking about some different. We were talking about cell cameras a little bit, and we'll get into some food plots. But this is that Meyer camera that I'm going to do a video on. I have it at my mother-in-law's right now, which I think it needs to be rebooted because I haven't gotten a picture from it in a long time. But what's cool about this one, and Braden, I want to get your take on it. Not to push this camera or anything. I'm curious. I can add like 4 or 5 cell phone numbers to this. To like if you wanted pictures from this camera, like I could have it sent to
Right.
you, to me. Are there any other cameras out there that you know of that can do that as well?
So I don't know about like sending it the numbers, but like my brother-in-law, he has a couple of the Moultrie cell cams. So as long as I download the app, like the Moultrie mobile app, and log in using his email and password, I can look at all the pictures that it gets sent to him at the same time on my phone too.
Okay.
But as far as like sending them to your phone, I really don't have a cell cam that actually sends them to like your phone number. Like my Tacticams I send to the app, my spy points I send to the app.
Yeah, that's
and
how my
then
spy
the
points
Moultrie send to the app too. So
No, this
I would've-
goes right as a text message. So it even says on the
Okay.
side of the box it says SMS control, which is
Okay.
new for me, right?
Huh.
Right here, I think that's what it says. Can you read that?
Yep.
That was new for me. I didn't, and it has a viewfinder on it, but we'll do video on it. But I was just curious because that's the first time I've seen it. I've used Moultrie. I've used. They've died. They've come and grown. Wild
Oh,
Game
yeah.
Innovation, I think, was
Yep.
probably the worst.
Wild game.
They're probably the worst for me. They always die. So
I put them where if they get stolen, I don't care. Kind of like a
Uh,
test property. Like, hey, look, I don't know if this is gonna last, so I'll put this
Right.
$20 camera here. If I start
Yep.
seeing deer, then I'll put something better out. But other than that, nope, you get a cheap camera.
that's right.
Jim in the chat room, he says, "Hey, I got to run. Thoroughly enjoyed the first airing, and we'll catch the remainder tomorrow." Appreciate that, Jim. And always remember, you can subscribe to the podcast via iTunes if you want just the audio, or if you want the audio and video, or if you want to subscribe to it for your Google Play. You just search out No Boundaries Outdoors, and you can catch it and listen to it on your way to work or whatever. I do that sometimes. You guys do that? Just listen to podcasts on the run. So I try to
Well-
make that available.
My way to work is 5 steps.
Yeah, well,
Also working from
I'm with you. I come down here too,
Yeah.
but there's times where I have to
So-
go. Like tomorrow, I got to go to a doctor's appointment.
Mhm.
So
I have
Yeah, when
almost
I'm
a
out and
half-
about, I'll turn something on.
yeah, she actually has to go.
I have almost a half-hour drive, so I listen to podcasts all the time.
So she'll be listening to this podcast and being like, "You guys are terrible. I don't know why I joined you guys. I don't know what
What
you're
was I
thinking."
thinking? I know.
So let's talk a little bit about food plots, because I know this is something that I know I struggle with, and I know there's probably people out there that'll be listening to this that'll be like, "Oh, I know the answer to this." But what do you guys do as far as food plots? Is it more like a trial and error thing for you when you decide you want to try something new, or is it like you do a lot of research on it? I mean, there's products out there, and everybody's going to tell you they're the best, and everybody's going to tell you, you should go with this. Where have you had your most success, Braden? Let's start with you.
So, I mean, food plot wise, I really don't do it by the book. I know you should lime it and all that good stuff, but I really don't have the time to do it. So I just basically buy the throw and grows, and none of them ever work, but you don't know till you try, right?
Right.
But I will say the Pure Whitetail Shady Patch blend, it's a throw and grow, and they say it grows just about anywhere, and I'll attest to that. I mean, behind my house here, I have a little, it's probably I don't know, 30-yard wide, probably 70-yard long patch that I had mowed off, and it's just like dirt and rocks and all that stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try. I have it. I threw it, and that's probably the best food plot I've had grow out of all of the competitors and the brands that I've tried.
Is this
And it's just-
spring or fall, or what is it?
It's mostly a fall.
Yeah.
Is it a fall?
It gives you like a diagram on the back, like what area you're in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right there.
There's
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oops. Let me go down here and see if I can. Nope, it's not letting me zoom in. Okay. But
But
zone.
yeah, it gives you the times of the year that it grows the best for your area.
So you can do, at least for our area, you can do what's Zone B, spring, April 1st through June 15th, or fall,
Yep.
April 15th through October 5th. I'm going to have to get this because the other throw and grow stuff that I got from the Tractor Supply, it was kind of really patchy.
Right. No, mine was the same way. I always went to Tractor Supply and bought
Yeah.
literally every brand. Like that one year, me and my brother-in-law, we literally bought clover, barsica, all radishes, all sorts of stuff, and actually tried to do it the right way. And that was the year we had a lot of rain, and it basically flooded all of our seed out. So I was like, you know what? I spent all that time. It didn't grow. I was like, I'll give that a shot, and it's grown the best out of every brand that I've tried. Like I said, I mean, once I get off here, I'll send you. Have to find some of the pictures I took of it, like the before and after. And
Yeah, that'd
Maybe
be
we
cool.
can post some
Mhm.
pictures next
Cool.
week.
Yeah, let's do that because I know I might even talk to my brother-in-law, see if he'll come on next week because he's kind of done the whole thing where he's done a lot of research, but he's also very experimental. And I've watched some of his food plots that he sent me pictures of, and they've grown. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about some food plots
Yeah.
and strategies around it. Jake, what about you? I mean, do you do any kind of food plots on your property?
Yeah, I mean, I have the pure whitetail shady patch. I didn't get to put it out. I think I got it last year. I didn't get to put it out. But there's one spot that I have it earmarked for that hopefully I get some work done around the house that I'll be able to get it ready. I know it's a throw and grow, but I plan on kind of tilling it up at least because it's a spot that is really heavy with weeds and stuff. So I want to get all that out. But there's also Whitetail Institute has a lot of food plot seeds and stuff that I was looking at. But it's so hard to tell with food plot seeds, trying to figure out which one will work in your area. Kind of like what Brandon said. I don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Radiant said, I don't lime it. I don't do anything like that. So it's like, to know if it works or not, it's hard to tell because I'm not doing everything by the book.
Yeah, if you do it by the book, in theory, it should grow. But
Yeah.
not everyone has the time or the equipment
No.
to do that.
Right.
When you need 3 ton of lime brought in and spread.
Right.
Sorry, but
Well-
I'm not moving 3 ton of lime by
Yeah.
hand.
And I'll
Yeah,
I'll tell you
exactly.
what worked for me. You know, talking to your uncle,
Mm-hmm.
being a farmer. You know, I was doing it late in the season. He says, "Listen," he said, "go out there and throw all your seed down." He said, "The throw and grow stuff," and then he says, "Take Roundup and kill all your weeds with it." And I said,
Yep.
"Even with the seed down?" He says, "Yep." He said, "It's not going to hurt anything until that seed's cracked open and it's started to grow." He said, "So throw some Roundup down." He said, "Wait a couple days, see where that Roundup is, like if it's killing it." He said, "You'll have a couple days." He said, "You might have 2 or 3 days where you can go back out and hit it again with some Roundup." Because I asked him, I said, "Should I till up the ground?" He goes, "Nah, I wouldn't worry about it with the throw and grow." He said, "Just go out there and kill the weeds with some Roundup."
Yep.
He said that'll, and it did. It worked.
It worked.
We didn't do anything except sweat putting that stuff down, right?
Yeah, I'll have to try that method out.
Yeah, and that's straight from a farmer. So like, if
Right.
he tells me to
Yeah.
do that, that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, that's what he
Oh,
does.
yeah, exactly.
Well-
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because we have, you know, back there they didn't take care of this area. They just let things grow up really wild. So
Mhm.
there's a couple places where some big boulders. I mean, I'd need an excavator to remove it.
Right.
So you see a little bit of it stick out of the ground. So I can't really go back there and till it. And what happens is there's a hole that kind of went around there, and when it fills up with water, the deer drink out of it.
Okay.
So I don't
Oh.
want to close that hole in, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
a nice
yeah.
little water hole.
Tell him what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not taking credit for this. This is all Ben, her brother.
Mm-hmm.
He told me I should go back there where that hole is and dig it up and take one of those kids' plastic swimming pools. And he said, put it in that spot and then cover it back in with dirt, except for in the pool, obviously. Fill it up with water, and then every time it rains, it fills it up. And then the deer have a watering hole back there.
Yep.
So I might do something like that. She thinks I'm nuts because I was like, we were at the dollar store and they had them for like $5. And I'm like, I'm gonna buy one of them. And she goes, for what? I said, so the deer have a watering hole. She goes, they don't need no watering hole. I'm like, do you need something to drink when you eat? So do they.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
saw
seen
that
a
get
lot
done
of
with-
people do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be a fun project to do.
Yeah, why not?
I'll make her do all the digging, and
You probably would.
would.
Mhm.
Look at her; she was really quick with that too.
Yeah. That's how it is.
No, it's not. Listen to her. I'm the guy carried all this corn back. No, I can't say nothing because we didn't have the room for a 4-wheeler or quad. So I said to her, I want to get one of those attachments for the back of my zero turn. That's like one of those carts that you can throw like corn and stuff in. Ladder. And she goes, do you really need one of them? So I happen to have some corn that I had to carry down. So now you're carrying it almost 3 acres.
Mhm.
Okay, one on each shoulder, and you're carrying it down. Then you have to walk back and get 2 more bags, and then you got to walk back and get the ladder. She goes, well, this is a lot of work just to fill up a corn feeder. I said, yeah, I could have did this in one shot without even lifting the sweat. if I had that cart on the back of the mower. She says, I think we should go out and get one of those carts. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
was a good idea.
I wish I would have thought of that.
So
Same day we went and got it.
we did. So sometimes we got to do stuff like that. I try to tell her, I'm like, man, it'll just make our lives easier, right?
Mhm.
So what do you guys think before we wrap this up? Jake, what do you think? Who would you like to talk to? If we could get some people from the industry on, like we've done in the past, who would you like to talk to? And I'm not talking just sponsors. I'm talking like if you could talk to somebody, if we could get somebody on as a guest, who do you want to talk to?
Oh boy.
No pressure.
I'll say no pressure at all. Ooh.
There's got to
I
be
don't
some
know, it's a good
people that
question.
you have burning
I mean,
questions for.
It's just Jim Sturgis probably would be one, just kind of him just learning about like how to manage land, how to manage deer and stuff like that. I mean, I would kind of be one of the persons that I follow him on YouTube and everything else to see what he does to make areas more suitable for all habitat. I mean, that's
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that would probably be someone that can walk you through land management and conservations and stuff like that.
All right, Braden, what about you?
I mean, probably Levi Morgan, just because that man is a wizard with a bow in his hand.
Indeed.
And just to hear some advice he would have on how to make you a better shooter. I mean, the guy goes out to all these competitions and wins. So just to hear like his philosophy on it, like what he thinks about how he approaches it, and I mean, he also goes out and kills some giant bucks. So in every state he's in, but so probably Levi. Just like I said, he's a wizard with a bow in his hand, and just to hear some of his tactics.
I'm kind of like in a position where there's a couple people that I'd like to talk to, just because, like, I know we watch a lot of Lee and Tiffany
Mhm.
with the Crush.
They would
I
be cool to talk to.
Yeah, I like, and we were in the process of getting them for an interview before,
Mhm.
with them and Raised Hunting,
Yep.
the Holders. I really of all the people, them and Pat and Nicole, like those three families, like we watch a lot because I think they have it right.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
about the fame and fortune. It's about they want to try to help people. They're in it for the industry, the love, the passion of
And teaching their kids how to, just enjoy outdoors and how to do it
Right.
responsibly.
So I don't have to twist her arm to watch The Crush with Lee and Tiffany. Like we've even got the DVDs. Like she'll watch that and Raised Hunting and stuff. So, and I get it. Everybody has their own views of these outdoor celebrities, right? Like it must be nice they shoot deer in fenced areas. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, unfortunately, everything's a business, right? There's no if, ands, or buts, two ways
Yep.
about it. You got to make your money, and I'm not saying that these guys are shooting in fenced-in areas, but everybody has the right to their opinion. But I do want to say, I'll put this out there and see what you guys think about this. This is something I see also floating around social media. Now, we have sponsors, but we are also, a few of us are part of different field staff and pro staff teams, and I know that's a bad word sometimes in the community because these guys are like, oh, you guys are selling your souls for like a discount, like a 10% discount or 15% discount. And I guess the way I look at it is, if they don't know who you are, okay, if they don't know what you're capable of doing, you just came into this industry, I feel like you got to prove yourself. You got to show your value to them, because your first goal needs to be, what can you do for them? I mean, you're joining a staff, you're representing a company. What can you
Right.
do for them?
Yeah.
And these people don't go with that mindset. They go in there with the mindset of, what are you going to do for me? Like, we
What
don't.
free stuff am I getting? And
Right?
Yes. So
No.
do you guys?
you're not
agree?
going to give me something free? I got to pay for it? Oh, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Right.
Do you guys agree with that? Do you think that people should have to prove themselves through a field staff? I mean, Braden, I look at what you did with Trophy Line, right?
Yeah, I mean, as far as that, yeah, you have your people that they get in the field staff for reasons like you said. They want the free stuff. They want this big discount. But at the same time, they don't want to work for it to earn what they're getting. You know what I mean? I'm with Trophy Line. I love their stuff.
But you're an ambassador for them, but you weren't.
Right.
You didn't start as an ambassador.
Right. Yeah. So I was using their stuff beforehand, but like I said, I'm not gonna say promote stuff that I don't technically like. Like I'm not just gonna join a staff because they come out and say we're looking for staff. Hey, we might get this for free or that for free or 40% discount. I'm gonna join it because I thoroughly enjoy the products. I enjoy what I'm doing. I mean, anything outdoors, I love doing. So, but yeah, as far as like field stuff, I don't know. I'm torn.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it is. Some of the companies, they abuse it because there's no way to
Right.
move up, and that's how they're making their sales.
Right. Yeah, I see it, but
Yeah. But I mean, I
But-
also think that like some of the companies that we've gotten sponsored us, like Scent Crusher and Apex Gear, we've proven we've done not only, I mean, we've used Scent Crusher. I bought even the new closets when they sponsored us. They sent us some stuff, but they didn't have the closet. I went out and bought it, because
Right.
I believe in the stuff that much. You and I both, we did a video about it.
Yep.
And she wasn't a believer about it. I'll just be honest. She was just like, yeah, right, this is going to get rid of the smell. And what did you do after we ran it through a couple times?
Oh, I put everything in it.
so I mean, there you go. And she was just like, you're going to pay $300 for a closet?
Best
Well, that's
$300 spent.
Yeah.
that's what the wife said last year. Whenever it was like 7:00 at night, I impulse buy a lot, so I'm sitting on the couch watching hunting, and like you say, I see the Scent Crusher closet on the show, and I look at her and I'm like, "Time is it?" She's like, "It's like 7:00." And I googled Sportsman's Warehouse. I was like, "I'll be back." Like 2 hours later, I come back. She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Scent Crusher closet. I've wanted one for a while. I got it." She's like, "Well, how much was it?" I was like, "You don't want to know." Yeah, it was like $300, but at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah.
and then here I am trying to plead my case to her, like, this does this does that. It's going to get rid of your odor, and she just gives you that blank stare, like, yeah, okay. But yeah, it was one of them, like you and Aaron. I
Yep.
showed her how it worked, and
Yep.
now she's like, okay, yeah, I can see why you bought it.
I mean, she was at first she was just like, "Does that mean all your hunting clothes will get off the ping pong table downstairs?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's
I was
like,
thankful.
she was sold at that point.
Hmm.
But then when I said, "Okay, let's put it through the Scent Crusher and let the smells and and then she's like, "Okay, all right." And then I said, "Well, that thing that was all musty was for like 15 years. Like, so it even says like if you
Yep.
got something like that, you got to run it maybe twice or 3 times." So yeah, so that kind of sold her on it. But anymore, I think even her, like if I say I want to go get a new bow or anything, she's just like, okay.
Okay.
We did the
See
same thing.
value in it.
Well, we did the same thing for you. You got the new Matthews Avail,
Mm-hmm.
and
My
you
favorite
can't
bow.
take that bow from her.
No.
That's her favorite. But when I told her, like I said, you can customize it, get the colors that you want. She did the black with the pink and yellow, and then the string is pink and yellow. She was like a pig in mud, man. She was like, this is great. And then when she was able to pull it back and accuracy and shoot, she said, yeah, this is a great bow. It
is a good bow.
It was made for women, right?
Mhm.
So
It doesn't feel awkward when you hold it. It's light.
So I don't have to bend her arms anymore. But in the beginning, I did. I had to twist her arm a little bit on things like, why am I spending money? And
Well, I didn't see the value of it because I didn't do it personally. So,
Right.
I didn't really understand it. But once I started to understand it, I'm like, okay, I understand. I see why we got to spend a little bit of money here or a lot of money, and it's worth it. I see it as an investment.
Right.
you got to spend money to make money. That's when you start getting into review stuff. And I told her that. I'm like, nobody knows me in the outdoor industry. I'm like, if I don't have any, they're not going to send me a review unit unless I, start doing some reviews. So you got to do stuff on what you buy. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, man, I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see what the comments come up above, or come in the chat room, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Leave your comments. What's your thoughts on the whole field staff? Listen, we're not shooting you down if you're on a field staff. Like we said, we're on a couple field staffs and pro staffs.
Yep.
But again, I think the key here is we believe in the company. That's why we're helping them out. Like Treason, I'm on. We were partners with them, and what happened was they got under new management, so we kind of had to, start at the bottom in a sense, and that's okay. I want to show my worth, So, but I believe in the clothing. Like we buy clothing from Treason. She's got the Vixen line. We love the camo. It's not for everybody, and I get that. But like Braden said, don't just get on the field staff just because you're going to get free stuff.
Right. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because you enjoy the gear, the products, not because you want the free stuff.
Free stuff will come if that's really what you're after. Because I
show your worth.
Show your worth.
Yeah.
And
make it worth it to them.
Yeah. These companies believe in paying you. And if that's how you're going to get paid is through product, then that's how you're. But you got to, just like doing stuff like this, high quality video, doing high quality pictures. I mean, Braden, he's turned into a celebrity on TikTok, so he knows all about that. What are you at? Like over 10,000 followers now? You gotta be up
somewhere
there.
Around. Get close to 20.
Oh, listen
Wow.
to this guy, Mr. We're getting almost near 20,000. This guy goes on. Maybe you should start posting that we're going to be doing this show, and all your TikTok people will come over and watch.
Yeah, I
the
could
show.
do that. Yeah, absolutely.
But no, in all seriousness, guys, if you've got questions or there's things that you want us to discuss and talk to people in the industry, I know you were talking a lot to those wild. What were they? The
Wildlife women.
wildlife women. Maybe we'll get some of those guys on, to help encourage women in the outdoors. That's why I thought it would be great for her to come on. Not only that, but you guys might get some insight on how to talk to your wives about
Yeah.
getting some of that hunting gear and those new guns. And I got you. I
Go
got
ahead.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you tuning in again. If you want to subscribe, head on over. You can go find the links over at noboundariesoutdoors.com, but we encourage you guys to go to youtube.com/noboundariesoutdoors and hit that subscribe button. Go to Facebook, like our page. I think we're over 5,000 likes there, but go over there. We'll have a live video there. And also follow these guys if you want to check out what Jake posts, his family posts, his outdoor adventures. Instagram.com/OxenChevy. You're not a Chevy fan, are you?
I am.
I am too. I have a
GMC
Chevy.
truck. Yep.
So there you go. And also Braden Pennington. You can get him on Instagram.com/Braden07, and then also on his TikTok. Help him get to 20,000. I believe it's Braden07
Yes,
on there as
please.
well, right?
Yep.
So you guys can go check him out. He posts a lot of hunting videos and pictures and stuff. And then my wife, we have to change this, but back when we were in Pennsylvania,
No longer Keystone.
yeah, her Instagram.com/Keystone Huntress, and that's another story we could get into. That's another topic we could get into about all the Instagram hunting models, right? Of all the ladies that just get into the Insta famous. Is that what they call? Is that what they call that?
Yep.
Insta famous that never killed a deer in their life, but they're outdoors celebrities.
No.
Anyways, noboundariesoutdoors.com. You can also follow me on Instagram. NBO for No Boundaries Outdoors. Steven is my Instagram. And we're going to be back here next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We are doing this live, so if you want to join our live interactive chat room, you can. We'll pull up your chat. But guys, we really appreciate it. We'll see you for an episode 2. We made it through episode 1.
Woo-hoo.
We'll try to get through episode 2. They say if you make it past 5 podcasts, you're going to make it. So we got to make it past 5. We'll see.
That's right.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.